Just shut up, stop talking, cease and desist. There's a good girl. Go, 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 go.
Moisturize me, moisturize me.
Welcome back to Never Ever Eat Pears, the Doctor Who rewatch podcast where we have decided to start with the 12th Doctor and we are not sorry.
Yep.
And welcome back to, well, this is the start of our series 2 where we are starting off with the 12th Doctor's first Christmas special, if I'm right in thinking.
Indeed, I think, yeah.
Yeah, Last Christmas by...
Well, besides his very angry little appearance at the end of the Matt
What?
Smith one.
Where
he had his kidney issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
And we are starting off with Last Christmas, which is written by Stephen Moffat. So we talked a little bit about this because we had like a preview of it at the end of series 1.
Yeah.
Where we had our wonderful Nick Frost stroll into the TARDIS decked out as Santa.
Yes.
The one thing I am going to, because I'm adding this as a bit of bump for this next series of the podcast, I'm going to try and note down character names so we at least have that.
So we're not going old punchable face.
It's just that person. So I do have listed the 4 main characters that appear outside of our core too,
Nice.
and of course Santa as well.
Yeah.
So first thing straight off the bat, because I think the episode opens up with Clara being woken up by like a bang or something in the night.
Yeah.
And she goes up to the roof to find essentially a crashed sleigh with Santa and 2 elves. Is it just part of elf mythology that elves are just a bit rough around the edges as individuals?
I don't know. I feel like it just changes every time, doesn't it?
It does a bit.
Because you've got so many various Christmassy ones where they're not. So I don't know. I think it's the cool way to have elves now, isn't it? To be a bit rough.
Okay.
Rough
fair.
and ready.
So we've got Santa, once again, obviously being played by Nick Frost and these 2 elves. Although I shou't use that terminology, should I? Because they point out
That it's
racist to refer to them as elves. And is Happy Easter just a fuck you?
I think so.
Because the Doctor then turns
just
up and
rocks up.
he says something like, Clara, don't even ask any questions, just get
Yeah.
into the TARDIS.
It's like, you're in danger. We need to go.
Santa, doesn't he kind of contest that? And the Doctor just turns around and says, Happy
Easter. And then just walks back in. I think it was, a proper little mic drop burn
Yeah.
moment. It was ridiculous.
And we materialise the TARDIS on a base in the North Pole.
Yeah.
But I think, don't we see a little bit of preview with what's happening with the people at the North Pole before the TARDIS arrives?
I don't even think we see the TARDIS arrive.
No,
I think we
that's
cut
just
to
later.
the scientists, don't we?
Yeah.
And then like the
So-
Doctor just breaks through a door or a wall or something, I think.
So we've got Professor Albert, who's the leader of this expeditionary crew. Bellows, who's the older lady out of the 3 ladies there. And you got Ashley and you got Shana. And Shana's the one that you see in the corridor. Is Shana... What, did they use her as like an archetype for Jodie's Doctor? Because there's a lot.
There's so much similarity.
There's
in
a
there.
lot of similarity for Jodie's
Almost down
Doctor.
to like the hair style is very, very similar.
I just got a real kind of Jodie vibe from Shana.
Yeah. Big time.
So, for you personally, what would, if you had to deal with a real stressful situation? I don't know. For me personally, I do use music to try and help me through different situations. If I'm particularly stressed at work, I'll put on a piece of music, whether it would be to motivate me or just distract me from whatever the situation is. Is there a particular piece of music for you personally that you would use in a situation like this?
I don't know. To be fair, if I'm in a stressful situation, I just kind of shut down. So, and like go dead quiet. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any songs that would just... I think I'd be screwed. I'd be... Yeah, facehugger food.
I think there's 2 pieces of music that come to mind for me. I don't know if you're familiar with a producer or I suppose composer called Audio Machine.
No.
They're very similar to, if you've heard of Two Steps from Hell or...
Yes.
Yeah, so similar, like very cinematic,
Lovely stuff.
trailer-esque kind of music. There's this beautiful piece called, I think it's called The Feeling of Autumn. And it's just kind of like a beautiful dance piece of music that you can
lovely.
imagine dancing through an autumnal forest or something like that.
Yeah.
That, or the complete opposite, I would have a piece of music that reminds me of an equally stressful and horrible situation, but then I'd be locked into that distracting me of the other one. And it's
see, that's big brain energy. That's good.
and it's I know exactly which piece of music it is. And have you seen American Horror Story at all?
Yeah.
It's the Dominique piece of music that's played in Asylum on the record.
Oh, yeah.
It's that piece of music.
That would be a good one.
It also features in another series that I'm quite fond of. I don't know if you've ever seen the series, a series called Happy.
No, but that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
It looks brilliant. Like, the trailers look fantastic.
And that's played in the opening of season 2. I won't obviously spoil it for you because you haven't yet seen it, but the scene is horrific.
Yeah?
Yeah, but it's played to Dominique. So yeah, I think that's what I'd probably use to distract myself.
That's
for it.
fair.
And I love that Shauna has a bit of a dance that she's using as well. She's really kind of getting into the piece of
shuffling
music.
herself along.
I don't know, like, I mean, I suppose Christmas music for me has its own stressful connotations because I used to work in retail, specifically Lego, and it would always be the
On
same
loop and the same stuff. Yeah.
So that would remind me, I suppose, of an equally stressful situation.
So also could work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the scene opens with Shauna putting on headphones and having to walk through this quite harrowing scene of a load of, I guess, like hospital beds with people. Don't they have like cloths or blankets over their heads?
Do they, or do we see the face things?
I don't know if we see the face thing straight off the bat.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I think they do have.
So I always get
blankets
this
over.
like visual a little bit confused with the doctor dances and the empty child vibes, where the patients are all just lying in the bed and then they sit up.
Yeah.
And I can never remember which one has the sheet over them, but you're right.
I
It's
think,
these
yeah,
ones,
yeah.
isn't it?
And isn't it already said that she needs to not think about what these things are?
Yeah.
And I can't remember if she's needing to get to anything specific. She's just needing to get to the other side of the room.
Yeah, I don't think that they really say why they're going in there, which I think is talked about later on, but
Yeah.
I don't think she's got a reason.
So she makes it almost to the end of the room, but then the door opens and Clara and the doctor walk in. I can't remember how I think she says like there are ghosts, but she says I can't remember how she describes Clara, but she says, and there's a skeleton
man. Yeah. I want to say she says something about like there's like a school teacher. I think she does almost call her a school teacher. I can't remember, but it's genius.
And what do you think about the Christmas title sequence? I can't remember where the drop is, but I think it might be between when the doctor's on the roof with Santa and
this, I
opening
think,
scene.
yeah. I quite like it. It's the same stuff with some snow on it, which I think
yeah,
is really
just
cute.
TARDIS shakes the
Let's have
snow off.
some snow. Yeah.
I think they also edit the music a bit. It has a bit of a jingle.
Some jingle bells going on.
Yeah.
I think it's cute.
And so when these creatures start to wake, because they do when Clara and the doctor walk in, and
Because they're instantly going, oh, what's this? What's this?
and
then
Shauna's
like,
distracted.
no. Yeah.
I did note down initially they are obviously ripping off Alien, but within the
time.
episode they acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's the professor who's like these
are like
things
face huggers from
yeah,
Alien.
kind of like Alien.
And the doctor's like, what's Alien? Horror movie? Well, that's just offensive.
No wonder you get hated all the time.
I think it's genius. It's his face at that moment where it's just like, what?
And these the face huggers on these patients are their patients are waking up and they're coming down from the ceiling as well.
Yeah.
And then I think there's a bit of a smash cut, and doesn't the wall get blown in
Yeah.
or something like that?
And then doesn't a tangerine like roll into
Yeah,
frame or
tangerines
something?
play a whole part within this episode. I'm fairly sure there's a point where when Clara's walking onto the roof at the beginning of the episode, Santa's saying, and clean up the tangerines or something, because apparently they've just spilt out.
Spilt everywhere.
Yeah.
And everybody loves the tangerines, but they don't.
Yeah. And I mean, for you personally, surely you must prefer them to a certain fruit that features a lot more within these episodes.
I don't know anymore. I don't know how I feel about fruit anymore.
And one of the elves are kind of sort of packing heat. Because I think
Aren't they covered in like toys?
they send toys in. The toys are
Yeah.
like they've got like little robots and stuff wandering across the floor.
Yeah.
But then one of the elves has got a full-on rifle, which is revealed to be a toy rifle.
God, yeah, he does, doesn't
But
he?
initially, it just looks like he's just
Yeah.
carrying a full-on gun.
Why not?
So I can't remember specifically where it sits within the episode, but we do finally get the Doctor and Clara being honest. I know exactly where it is because the Doctor realizes that Clara needs to stop thinking about the face huggers. So
Yes.
he talks about Danny Pink and wants to remind her of how much she loves him.
Danny Pink, yeah.
And she full on slaps him.
Slaps him right across the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they try doing mental maths first, and she's just too good at mental maths.
Yeah, so she needs something.
She needs something else.
A bit
and then,
more emotionally saturated, and obviously
very much is.
Yes. And obviously the Doctor's not aware of the recent passing of Danny.
No.
And the Doctor also reveals Gallifrey, that he wasn't able to find it.
Yeah.
It is nice to finally see these two
Properly be honest with each other. Yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, for them to actually finally lay it all bare.
Yeah.
But I feel like, on the Doctor's part, he's not particularly warm about what Clara's been through.
No.
And then Clara isn't particularly warm about what he's been through either, which I kind of feel is a little bit skewiffy. You kind of have expected it from Capaldi's Doctor at this point because that's just the way he is. But Clara's been a little bit more emotionally available, and at this point she's just like, all right.
Your home planet that you've been looking for as long as...
Yeah. Did I misread that, or is that something you kind of caught on as well?
Yeah, it did feel a bit cold from her.
Yeah.
Hasn't Gallifrey been pretty much lost to the Doctor since the fourth Doctor? Because he was called back to Gallifrey. That's when he departed with Sarah.
Yeah. He's been pretty much banished from it for a long time, hasn't he? And then obviously...
Yeah, because... Well, we'll talk about we may cover the Eighth Doctor, because there's some tie-in with the Eighth Doctor with some of the minisodes.
Yeah.
But...
Either way, it's been a long bloody time.
Yeah.
And it's your planet. And she was so upset with him in the Forest of the Night for the possibility of losing her planet.
Yeah.
It just felt very strange.
It did feel odd.
But, that's Clara.
But we are distracted from that by a horrible CG Nick Frost on
We are
on a reindeer. Oh, it looks awful.
It's not good.
It would have been fine had they just cut to because there is a cut and it cuts back to him dismounting the reindeer.
Yeah.
That would have been fine.
That's all we
don't
needed.
need to see him rearing up on the reindeer
No.
like some kind of spaghetti western character. It's horrific.
We've already established Santa is a badass because he's blown up a wall.
Yeah.
And his elves
And
are
he's
armed.
played by Nick Frost.
And he's played by Nick Frost, exactly. That's all you need. You don't need that.
No.
Yeah, it was, I feel, a waste of money.
A poor animation department.
Yeah. Going, oh.
But so within this episode, I feel like the reveal happens too many times.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that because it's revealed when the Doctor meets everyone. So he meets properly Shana, Ashley, Bellows, the older lass, and then the Professor. Isn't there some kind of hinting that something's up? Because he's eating like a turkey leg, but doesn't he keep on eating the same turkey leg?
Yeah.
There's some kind of hinting that this reality isn't quite
right.
Yeah. And then isn't there something about the Doctor says, oh no, it's revealed that no one's read the instruction manuals to this base. So he asks everyone to pick up the instruction manual and read the first letter on a certain page.
Yeah.
But there's also a bit of hinting that something's not right because he asks everyone why they're there and what they're doing, and everyone's answer is it's a long
story. Yeah. And then there's something like there's only 4 manuals where they've got people in there.
Yeah, they've got 8 people.
Yeah.
And it's revealed that they've already been got by the face huggers because the Doctor can't figure out how they were kind of saved in that moment where he thought they would have surely been got.
Yeah.
So...
Because, wasn't one of the smash cuts Doctor looking up and a facehugger thing falling at his face, and then suddenly that facehugger thing's gone.
I think there might be a reveal between this because the Doctor doesn't... Oh, yes. So they've got one of the face-huggers in a jar.
In a jar.
Can't remember how they did that.
No, I don't think they ever
Just
say.
we have a jar.
Happily have one in the jar. And then Doctor sends Clara on her own to go and get it.
Yeah. But then forgetting that these things are reanimated by thought. So naturally Clara starts to think about
the things she is picking up.
And also everyone else in the base is thinking about it as well.
Yeah.
And it wakes up and smashes out of the jar. I will say to this episode's credit, it does the alien thing very, very well. It does feel like a claustrophobic moment where I think she's under a bench or something, and this thing's like creeping along the top of it. Does it feel like a Christmas episode to you?
No.
Which is a weird question, seeing as we have Santa, probably one of the most core things within cliche Christmas. It doesn't have the whimsy. It doesn't have...
I think, to be fair, no offence to Nick Frost,
No.
this is like the weakest Christmas episode that I can think of.
Oh, okay. Now, there's one that I've got that's weak. I feel like personally is weaker, and it's the Dr. Mysterio. I think it's his next Christmas special.
Oh, good point.
With, like, the superhero.
Oh, yeah, no, that's even less Christmassy.
Yeah, I think the only good
about
part of
that.
that is the end bit, I think, where he talks about everything ends and it's always sad. But then...
God, yeah, no, don't.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah, no, good point. But yeah, even with Santa, there's no. Like the bloody one with what's it called? The Doctor, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Oh yeah.
Even that felt more Christmassy.
Well, at least the end resolution did, where I mean, it's bullshit. The idea.
Oh, it's complete bullshit. But it just the whole vibe of it just felt more Christmassy.
Yeah.
To me.
On the topic of Christmas specials, do you have a favourite Christmas special?
Yeah, Christmas Carol.
Christmas. Oh wait,
With Michael Gambon.
Yes.
Yeah, I love Christmas Carol. I have it tattooed on my body.
Nice.
I love it. And I just thought it was a really nice Doctor Who-y version of it. And I loved it.
The world that they built with that, with the steampunk fishes.
Yeah,
and
the
stuff, that was
fucking
gorgeous.
fishes. I love the fishes.
So cool.
I just thought it was really clever. I really liked it.
It's-
And Michael Gambon, beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful performance from him.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
I will say though, as much as I love that, and I do cry whenever the silent song. The song.
Don't. I love it.
It's still not my favourite. There is one. I think that's probably my second favourite, but there is one that trumps it, and it is Voyage of the Damned.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's got some of the best Tennant moments in
That
it.
is a good one.
It's another one of those episodes, a companion that should have been but never was.
Oh, don't. Astrid.
Astropair. No, who are you talking about? It's Banner Cafalata. Obviously, our main boy.
Oh, I love it. But then I can never remember Twice Upon a Time.
Yeah.
But then that was just full on
It was a
heartbreak
lot-
for me because we were losing Capaldi and I couldn't deal with it.
It was a lot of weird writing, though, because there was a lot of weird writing for the first Doctor. I think that's what threw me off. Like, the ending of Twice Upon a Time, gorgeous.
Oh my God. I cry every time.
Yeah. But I think Voyage of the Damned, for me, is at least a consistently good story.
Yeah.
There's no weird writing as such. It just
yeah.
feels nice. But yeah, back to this
this weird, not Christmassy Santa.
So
filled
Clara
episode.
gets got by the face hugger, and the Doctor walks in and says, "There's only one way that we can kind of get her out of the dream, is that I get got
in there as well
by one of them as well." Well, we never see what that process is like.
No, we don't see where they
It
find
just
another
smash
one.
cuts to him with one on his face.
Yeah, this is getting trippy. There's so many random things I forget that's just happened.
And it turns out that the mechanics of these face huggers are that they slowly burrow into the tissue of the brain and is it dissolve it or melt it?
Yeah, it turns it into soup. That kind of vibe, I think.
And
While giving you a nice stream to make
while
sure.
giving you a nice dream, so it's painless.
Yeah,
And Clara's
which I'd like to contest.
the burrowing of the.
Well, the giving them a nice dream bit.
Okay, yeah.
Spoilery. These guys are not in a nice stream.
No.
If it keeps happening again and again and again, it's not a nice stream. The facehugger things are not doing their job very well.
No.
That's notes for this facehugger aliens.
They'll take that on board.
Yeah. The next time they try about it,
Face hugger meeting and be like, guys,
yeah, we screwed this up, man.
nice dreams. But Clara's, isn't it Christmas? Is it Christmas Day? It's Christmas morning, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Christmas
and she's
morning.
woken up by Danny walking in full Santa.
Yep.
Naturally, because she has all the context of Danny dying, she's like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
So I can't remember what led to this particular bit of conversation, but there's a weird jab that Clara throws at Danny, where that's it. Danny's talking about the presents, and she guesses all of them.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, could you not just use your imagination?" And she responds to, "I usually have to."
Oh yeah.
What was that about?
Brutal.
Yeah,
That is
that's
a brutal,
unnecessary.
possibly adult joke.
Yes. Almost definitely. But
Yeah. Oh,
very unnecessary from Clara.
But again, it just establishes that these two are not a good pair.
No,
Even in this lovely idyllic dream, it's not good.
no. And the Doctor does then knock on the front door and is able to get into the dream. What is this about Clara? Her perfect version of Danny has to be ever so slightly taller. The Doctor says something like he's a couple of inches too tall.
I don't know. Is it a thing that blokes have to be taller?
I know that people have preferences
Yeah.
and stuff, and a lot of people do prefer a taller partner, but I don't. That was never specified within
no.
any point that Clara just preferred taller people.
Nope.
It just seemed like an odd thing that she would desire in that situation. But regardless,
Yeah.
Um,
Another weird bit.
so we get. Oh, before that, we get a horrific chalkboard moment
Oh yeah.
where
You are dying.
yeah,
That's
and then you've got the
brutal.
corridor of chalkboards and all that.
Yeah.
But Clara kind of resists it and then goes down and cuddles with Danny, and that's when the Doctor walks in.
Yeah.
Yeah, these face huggers, the dreams that they create, surely it would be in their best interest to have Danny want to convince Clara to stay. But it's almost like Danny's
Danny's
with
like,
the
yeah, off you
Doctor.
pop. Yeah.
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 And
Is it the whole Clara's mind is too strong for this kind of deal shtick again?
I don't know, because it's heavily within the later portion of the episode. It shows that her mind isn't that strong.
So yeah. Who knows?
But the Doctor's finally able to convince Clara to. Well, Danny's finally able to convince Clara to go.
Yeah.
And they both break out of the head crab thing. But then further into the episode, I think the Doctor talks about the pain. It's almost like an ice cream headache, doesn't he say?
Yeah.
And everyone's still feeling
Still
it.
feeling it. Yep.
And it turns out that they're still within a dream. There's so many reveals in this. I can't remember which one.
I can never remember which one happens when. Yeah.
'Cause-
when you think you're out of it, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
no, we're not.
So I think these two kind of smash together regardless. So it turns out that the people in the beds are them.
Are them.
Are the crew of the North Pole base.
Yes.
And I can't remember how they get out of that particular dream. I think that's
Do we
part
get
of
out of this one first, or do we lose Turkey Leg?
Oh yeah, because he gets like full on.
He gets full on sucked into the
Yeah.
TV. I love Idiot's Lantern vibe. Yeah.
So does he die? That's his.
I
death?
think he is dead.
Oh yeah, because I think they said if you die.
If you die in it, you
dream,
did.
die in reality.
Yeah. And then the Doctor's like, oh no, this dream's become a nightmare vibe. And then a whole bunch of other
Yeah.
face crabby hugger things appear.
So this is kind of the opposite play on the Dream Lord episode that we had with Matt Smith.
Yeah.
Where if you die in the dream, that's when you kind of wake up in reality.
Reality, yeah.
But isn't there a reveal in that both are dreams? Yeah, because
Yeah.
Amy like blows up the TARDIS or something
Yes.
to break them out of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're all being surrounded by the face hugger crab people, and then they're saved by Santa.
Yeah, because why not?
Does Santa allude to having Time Lord technology at least? Because he talks about his sack being
big on the
larger
inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, what's her name? The young lass? Shana?
Shana, yeah.
Shana, she's like interrogating him, trying to find out that he's actually Santa. And he's just, telling this girl all of his secrets. No secrecy, just everything. Laying it all out. And yeah, he does say about his Santa sack being bigger on the inside. Yeah.
And yeah, so they all get picked up in Santa's sleigh, and I think that's the final. No, there's still one more reveal after this, because
This is the final for the crew.
This is the final for the crew.
Yeah.
And Shana's like, because I think the Doctor or Clara says something along the lines of, "You may not have been taken within the same time period.
Yeah,
you could be from all
possibly
over."
from everywhere, yeah.
And Shana's very, oh, bless poor Shana.
I just felt so bad for her.
She's just wanting friends.
She just wants
She wants all these people to like hang out with her after they all wake up.
Yeah.
Here's an odd. So it's probably something that I should have raised earlier in the episode, but have you ever had a dream where you can take control of it in any way? Okay. I only ever had once, and it was a reoccurring dream because for whatever reason, when I was young, I had a real fear of nuns.
Okay, fair.
So when I would have like a scary dream, it would always be
nun.
me in just like a nunnery, which sucked.
Amazing.
But I went up to the sister of this particular nunnery and asked. I was able to convince my dream self to ask her if this was a dream.
Oh.
To which she responded no.
Ooh.
So additional dislike. Lying
Full
nun.
on trauma there from a lying nun.
But on building off of that question, have you ever had a dream where you felt like you've met someone who's real? So it's not someone that you know in the real world, but this manifestation of someone in the dream feels like someone that exists within the real world.
I'm not too sure.
I think I have several times. I think it was back when I was single and I met someone who I weirdly fell in love with in the dream and just woke up and it's like, I really want to
person's real, I need to find them.
find this person, but I have no way to find them.
That's cute. I don't often remember my dreams. It's very rare if I remember a dream.
Oh, okay.
So I have very little to add to that.
No, that's fine.
But I think it is weird that people's brains can do stuff like that. Like,
'Cause
it
it's-
is insane.
I don't know if this is based off any kind of fact, and it's something that I'd love to tackle if we ever tackle Torchwood, because it's a really interesting idea if it is based off any truth. You know, when weird reference, Torchwood season 4, when Jack's talking about the kind of psychic network that all humans are connected to, which is woven into the Miracle Day and all that stuff, where he's talking about there's an island where a bunch of apes learn to use a rock as a knife, and there's another island thousands of miles away where another bunch of apes use a rock as a knife because they're connected with a psychic network. And that idea then kind of spawns into the dream idea that perhaps we're all
Somehow
tapping
connected that
into
way.
some kind of hive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It would be really interesting. Like, because you could guarantee that some people have had the same dream.
Yeah.
So where does that come from? Obviously, like exposure to the world.
Yeah, and the
But
things that we...
I think it's really interesting.
It's weird that cheese has a
Yeah.
effect to usually conjure bad dreams.
Yeah.
Why is it that, I think it's during one of the last reveals, why is it that a very similar theme to Owen's theme is playing from Torchwood?
I don't know.
I don't know if it's the same composer. I think it's
I
still
assume
Murray
it's Murray Gold.
Because Murray Gold didn't do Torchwood. I think it was a different composer.
Oh, I don't know. I've never actually checked.
I think it may be a different one. But no, it was just an odd, I could just hear Owen's theme.
Just a bit of a coincidence, I think.
I love that there's one of the crew members that comes up to the doctor and the doctor's response to them is, sorry, I deleted you.
Yeah.
It's another one of those just, you were just so insignificant in the moment. I just got rid
just
of you.
like, done with you now. And then we get that wonderful yippee-ki-yay moment.
Is it wonderful?
It's fantastic.
Oh, okay, you liked it.
It proves once and for all that Die Hard is a Christmas film.
Okay, well, we're in contest about this one, my friend. Because I refuse, just because it's based in Christmas doesn't make it a fucking Christmas film.
I do feel, though, that as he was saying it, Capaldi was cringing with all
It's a
his
horrible
might.
line read
It's
from him.
awful. It's
It's-
like possibly, no offense, the worst acting I have seen from him. It's awful.
And the fact that it's in a horrible CG moment as well. There's a lot of bad
It's
happening.
possibly the worst bit,
Yeah.
but I loved it.
I didn't even realise that it was a reference to that. I just thought it was a
I
horrible...
don't know why they've done that though.
Yeah.
Like why?
Maybe Stephen Moffat is just a
Maybe he is just
advocate for
Die Hard being a Christmas movie.
Do
Because
you
at no point does Bruce Willis ride a reindeer in the movie.
No.
At any point.
Do you have a favourite Christmas film? Just off the dome?
Ooh.
I don't know if I do, just thinking about... Well,
I think it's Muppets Christmas Carol.
oh, fair.
That is
that's
a solid-
That is a solid choice.
Yeah.
That is a very solid choice. I think, for me, it's less so film, and it would probably be a Doctor Who Christmas special. And again, Voyage of the Damned would probably
That's
be...
fair, yeah.
Probably be mine.
There's going on Christmas Carol again. There's a version of Christmas Carol at the Old Vic every year.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's been 6 or 7 years in a row that they've done it. I've been every single year, and it
Nice.
is the most magical piece of theatre I've ever seen. So that's probably like my favourite Christmas viewing. It's so good. They've got John Sims Scrooge this year.
Ooh.
Yeah, and Chris Eccleston was Scrooge last year, and he was
I think I saw some
phenomenal.
of the snapshots from Eccleston.
He was so good. Yeah,
That's
can't wait to
cool.
see John Sim. So excited.
On the subject of natural Never Ever Eat Pears tangent, there was a Christmas Carol that caused some controversy a few years back think it was a BBC's
Was that the
production.
Guy Pearce and Andy Serkis one?
Possibly. It was one where you
Maybe.
really kind of explored Scrooge's backstory in the orphanage.
Yeah. I
There-
think that was that one.
But there was a beautiful scene that they did where I think there was a young boy who was drowning, and it was Scrooge in like a bare room, and you could see the boy's kind of body floating in the ceiling rafters. It was harrowing.
Yeah, it was
But-
not easy watching.
No,
Yeah,
no, God, no.
But I really liked it.
So as poor Shana's saying, like, let's meet in the real world.
Yeah,
we
let's
lose-
exchange numbers.
I can't remember who we lose first. Is it the older lady that
I
goes
think
first?
so. Yeah.
So she's in. Ooh,
Ooh.
because that is. I don't know. I've got to be careful with this because obviously people deal with this kind of situation in different ways. But this whole time she's been wheelchair bound.
Yeah.
Which I suppose. I mean, if you dive into that,
If you dive into that, there's a lot of issues there.
There's a lot of sadness that her perfect dream is that she
She can walk again.
Yeah,
Yeah, because she even, I think, tries to get out of the chair initially, doesn't she? And then she's like, oh, wait, oh, God, wheels are over away.
And just to remind myself of. No, I think this is the lady who said.
I think this is the deleted lady. 'Cause she doesn't really do very much.
She doesn't know. It's
Does she?
Ashley.
Ashley, yeah.
I can't even remember where she wakes up.
Neither can I.
Oh.
Is that really bad?
I think the episode leads it to believe that she's just the less.
I can't remember for the
Prominent
life of me
character
where
where
she
she
wakes
wakes
up.
Ooh.
Sorry, Ashley.
I think she just wakes up in bed because she wakes up and
Oh!
she screams and the
The
head
thing's
crab
falling on-
thing's just,
yeah.
like writhing around. But
Which kind of explains it because that's a very boring place to wake up compared to the other two.
yeah, but poor old Shana, she wakes up on the settee.
Oh no, but first she says, Santa, can I stay a bit longer?
Yeah.
Oh,
Love
her.
And
Yeah.
her response to the head crab is unbelievably underwhelmed. She's like, oh, that's a bit gross.
Gross, yeah.
If that's the kind of stuff wandering around your apartment, you need to
You need
get
to
your
sort some
life
stuff
in
out.
gear. You can't have that running around.
Oh.
But she's got a list.
She has a
She's got
Christmas
a Christmas list. What has Dave done?
What has Dave done? Who is Dave?
Who is Dave?
I'm assuming Dave is ex-partner, maybe.
Maybe,
Who
or
knows?
done something
Friend, whatever. I don't know. But what has Dave done?
Yeah.
And what does having that weird ass dream do to make her forgive him?
Yeah.
Because she ticks it.
Yeah.
How does that dream equate to forgiving Dave?
Well, maybe. I mean,
What did Dave do?
it becomes problematic because if this is like, I mean, obviously we know nothing on the relationship, so we are making a lot of assumptions.
We're
But if
grabbing in the dark.
if he's been unfaithful or something like that, it's really sad to think that her yearning for some kind of friendship, which obviously she wasn't able to retain from the dream,
Yeah.
then leads her to jump to the only individual that's real in her life, which is Dave, regardless of what he's done,
Oh,
and then
no,
makes
that's
her
really
be like,
sad.
I need to forgive him because
I'm lonely.
this is all I have.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Bring her back.
Yes.
Bring her back.
Yes. So Clara is still, she's refusing to leave.
Doctor's gone.
Doctor's gone. I think she just turns around and he's
gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
And even Santa's like, you need to kind of wake up, but she's just,
She's like, no, I'm good.
yeah. And the doctor, so I think this is the reveal that should have been, I'm assuming this is what you were talking about when you said
This
this
is
should
where
have
it
been the
should have
departure.
stopped.
This should,
Doctor wakes up in a volcano again.
Yeah, I don't know what
What
that's
is his
about.
thing with a volcano right now?
But he gets back into the TARDIS and turns up at Clara's place, and she's still got the face crab on her face, and the Doctor suddenly is able to work out with the screwdriver that he can just like prise it
Sonic
off.
screwdriver wonderfulness again.
And it turns out that Clara has aged.
Aged dramatically.
Well, so we're going to talk about that. Because I think one of the questions that the Doctor asks is, how long has it been since we last saw each other? And she says 62 years.
There's no way. Yeah.
Let's take this back a bit. So Clara is a teacher in a school,
So 30s.
something like that. When she first meets Matt Smith's Doctor, is she a teacher then, or has she not started as a teacher?
I don't know.
But we could say maybe 25.
Yeah.
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 She spends a couple of years with Matt Smith's Doctor?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so 27. Capaldi now 20, 28. Maybe. I don't know. I think there's been some time between, because she says something like 6
It's
months.
been 6 months, I think, since they saw each other.
Because I think that's when after she was abandoned in the coffee house or
Yeah.
something like that. There's definitely been months.
There's been
of
some
gappage. Not to mention all the montages with like Danny and her having to juggle her life with the doctor. So maybe 30.
We'll go for 30, maybe.
92 is this Clara.
Is she hell? Bloody not.
What would you think is like because it's very impressive. Once again, Doctor Who comes through with the impressive old people makeup.
Yeah, it's really good makeup, but it's not 92. What,
No,
60?
maybe.
Maybe?
Late 60s,
Yeah, 60, 70? It's not 90s.
No. I got a bit emotional though when because I don't know what it is about elderly folk. I mean, where they've experienced so much of life and stuff and have so much experience. But
Yeah.
that shot where her elderly hands reaching for the cracker.
Don't. And then he helps.
Yeah.
So gentle. No,
It's a lot.
it's a lot. It's a lot, which is why it would have been perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would have been perfect. And it would have been like, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the only companion that we've seen get to old age. One of.
It's weird because we technically have seen other companions get to old ages, but they've been alternative versions or been reversed. Like we've seen old Amy or older Amy.
Older Amy, yeah.
We've seen older Martha in Torchwood
Oh, we did.
very briefly.
Yes.
I think that might be it, at least in this
This one, yeah.
run so far. I mean, I suppose Sarah Jane,
Yeah, Sarah Jane.
but apart from that, no, I think that might be the only.
Yeah. But like, old and not able to do things anymore.
Yeah.
Kind of age.
Yeah.
90s.
Apparently.
age.
All
I
right.
think would have been really nice. Because again, she's such a complicated bloody companion. I love her and then I hate her and then I love her again.
And the
Just
Doctor
like,
spending Christmas with someone is something that he just doesn't usually do.
Again,
I think it was
we've
ever
had-
since Rose Tyler, he just has a real issue with spending Christmas with people.
Yeah, because obviously Ten spent Christmas Day with them, didn't he?
Yeah, but then he has a real problem spending it with the fake next Doctor.
Yeah.
Because I think he does eventually go off with him to do that. But, he doesn't join Donna, does he? Because she's saying that her mum cooks for 20 and he essentially runs away from that.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think there's anything to do with Martha in Christmas because obviously her family never really meet him until the Masters.
Yeah.
Although I suppose Matt Smith's kind of brings, although that's probably traumatic for him because he was naked during that.
He was. Oh, God, yeah. And he has Christmas with the Ponds, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. Which is really
But
cute.
even that, he...
Is crying his eyes out.
Oh, yeah, because he's like, doesn't he come to the door and he's like not sure if he should go in or follow in?
And she shoots him with a water gun or something.
But that's a bit of trauma that we may visit at some point if we circle that. And it is revealed that this is also a dream.
How do we reveal this? I think Santa rocks up again, doesn't he?
Maybe. I genuinely
I
don't
think because
know.
the doctor's like, oh no, I'm really sorry, and like gets all apologetic to Clara, and then says if I could change things or if I could go back.
Yeah.
And then Santa's like suddenly there and like, would you though, Doctor? What would you do if you could go back? And then it's like, oh shit! And then he wakes up in the volcano again. I think, and then we're like, on it.
And then he's back at Clara's place, but she hasn't aged, but she still has a face crab on her face. Once again, he does the Sonic.
Does the Sonic thing,
bullshit,
and then she says, "Do I look young?" He goes, "I don't know," and gets her a
Brutal.
mirror.
Cannot tell the difference.
And he's like, "Is this okay?"
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the episode lost me a bit because, like you, I think that should have been
I think that would have been
end of Clara's
perfect.
arc.
It would have been a really nice. It was heartbreaking. It was good
Yeah.
because we had that. Yeah, because when she was old, we had that bit where she said to him, like, "Do you actually really not see any difference in me?" And then it pan cuts, and she's young Clara again,
Yeah.
like through his eyes, and I think that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it was just really nice, and then they ruined it. Nick Frost rocked up and ruined it.
I'm sure it wasn't his fault. But yeah, so the Doctor goes back to Clara's place, gets the face grab off, like you say, with the mirror, and then he just does. He kind of re-intros Clara. He says something like "all of time and all of space,"
Where do you want to go?
and they just run off to the TARDIS.
Yeah.
But we do, because this whole time it's heavily implied that Nick Frost's Christmas, Father Christmas isn't real.
Yeah, he's just a construct from their minds to
Yeah.
help calm down.
But then it's still kind of like, ooh,
There's a Satsuma.
there's a last Satsuma just on the windowsill. And that's how the episode ends.
how it
And
ends.
as you've...
I actually think we pan up to the moon and see reindeers fly across, don't we?
do we?
Unless I've made that up in my head, I have a feeling
Oh, okay. I thought
that
it
we
ended
do
with the
that.
Satsuma,
Or does it
but
end with the Satsuma?
I'm not too sure.
Who knows? Either way,
Either way,
ends up with a
Santa's
wee bit
real,
of a
kids.
cliched Christmas look.
Yeah, definitely not the strongest of the Christmas specials we've ever
Nah.
had.
It's not a Christmas special. It's got
No.
Santa in it, but that's it.
Yeah.
It's got Santa in it, and at some point it's based at the North Pole or the Arctic base or wherever
It
they're
has
at.
all of the ingredients for a Christmas special, but just doesn't
Deliver it.
deliver it.
No.
I think if we'd spent more time with elderly Clara within like Christmas Day and stuff, that would have perhaps given it more of the warm feel. But I think that sequence was like 3 minutes. It really wasn't.
Yeah, I don't think it was very long.
Not long at all.
Nah.
But thank you once again,
Ah.
Pete, for joining me and for kicking off this second series of Never Ever Eat Pears.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Once again, if you have any comments or speculations regarding Old Who or New Who, do throw them in the comments and we will read them out on the next episode. And until the next time, we are heading into time and space.
Oh yeah.
Moisturize me, moisturize me.